Ladies and gentlemen, back with a very special episode of the HeyQP podcast. My name's Quincy Piper, the aforementioned QP, and with me today I have a very unique guest. Ethan Ducca, Ohio State runner-up out of the St. John School in Ashtabula, Ohio, an all-state selection in both football and wrestling, and arguably the coolest back tattoo in the MAC, possibly all of Division One. But, anyways, let's get this going. How are you today, Ethan?
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. We just had a little workout this morning. Got some rehab type stuff for my knees, so I'm doing good.
Yeah. So the knee's feeling good right now. It hasn't been hit too hard from training.
Honestly, dude, I feel great. It's funny because I've had quite a few surgeries, but I can't lie. Like, the body feels good.
That's good to hear, man.
I got some scars, and some stuff here and there, but I feel good.
Hey, that is honestly really good to hear because you're a big part of what this team's gonna be this season. But anyways, where are you? You mentioned this, but I mentioned this in the intro. But Ashtabula, Ohio, where you're originally from, just describe the town. Is it like a bigger area, or like what kind of situation are we dealing with?
Yeah, so I'm actually from a town probably like 4 or 5 minutes away from there.
You said 45?
Yeah, like 45 minutes away. I'm from a town, small little town, Chardon, Ohio.
Got you.
I initially, my first 2 years went to Chardon, Ohio, and then I transferred to Ashtabula, St. John. So, I wrestled all growing up. Obviously, I started wrestling when I was like 4. So by the time I got to high school, stuff starting to get a little bit more serious, and I just I wanted to transfer and get a little bit of better coaching, better training partners. So I decided to make that move to St. John.
Just the best thing that for you at that point in time.
Yeah, just the best thing for me. So it was rough. It was about like a 50-minute drive, I think, every morning.
That's insane.
Crack of dawn to make it, but So yeah, I'm about 45, 50 minutes away, and
Oh, gotcha. I did not know that about you. Hey, I've known you 3 months and I'm still learning things. But anyways, what made you decide on Ashtabula St. John? Like, had they reached out to you, or was that just a place you had on your mind?
Yeah, so I grew up wrestling with a lot of those kids on that team, and actually the head coach there, Scott Blank, was kind of a coach of mine growing up. We'd go up to Ashtabula and wrestle with him and his sons and some of the local kids around there. And I mean, Scott's just an amazing dude, amazing person. And I think he kind of heard that we were looking to go elsewhere, and he immediately, when we were starting to make that decision, he kind of like got in our ear a little bit and was saying, "Hey, you can come out here. We got a good little spot, got a little situation.
Hey,
we'll take care of you."
As any good recruiter does.
Yeah, and honest to God, I mean, it was a life-changing thing going out there. It really was. I mean, it completely changed everything for the better, and I love the little town. I love the area of Ashtabula. It'll always have a special place in my heart. So that kind of was the reason I went out there. And like I said, all the wrestling stuff just took off when I got out there. I mean, I had amazing partners to work with. I had amazing coaches, and
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Do you remember your first offer?
I don't know specifically if I remember my first offer. I think one of my first visits was down to Clarion, actually.
Oh, nice.
So that might have been my first offer. But I wasn't crazy recruited out of high school. I was a little bit of a late bloomer. Once I transferred, going into that junior year, I made the state finals. I got second, and then my senior year, by that time I was already committed to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And that year I placed at Ironman. I was nationally ranked. I was kicking butt. I was doing good, and then COVID happened. Our state tournament got canceled and all that. So
yeah, that had to be a bit of a gut wrencher.
Yeah, just you couldn't believe it at the time.
Oh no,
You really couldn't.
I mean, heck, I was in 8th grade at that point. It's just it didn't feel real to be
Right.
to be honest with you,
Yeah.
dude. Like that like the last 5 years like kind of like blend together in a sense because you're like, wait, like you hear something like a memory comes up in your Snapchat or something. Wait, that was 2019. That feels like it was like 6 months ago.
I know, and I'm still young, and I'll say that I'm still young, but wow, it's just time flies. I was just a senior.
Exactly,
It was just
man.
2020.
Yeah, I know. It's
Like,
like
just slow down a little bit,
that I 100% agree with that, man. Life comes at you and life comes at you in a hurry.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll keep going here. How has your training style adapted since maybe not freshman year, but when your knee problems started?
Obviously, just kind of the extra rehab stuff has kicked up a lot.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the
just
stuff I'm
doing the
doing
extra
outside.
rehab.
Yeah, the stuff I'm doing outside of the room's different. I don't think it necessarily caused my knee issues, but I was always the type of dude that I'd be more stressed out with my training. So on those rest days, maybe earlier on in college, I'd be going in and getting the work in when maybe I should have just taken a day to rest.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I'm in a unique situation being a 6th year, and being at a place like Bloomsburg with Stutzman, who I've known for so long. He's recruited me every time I've been in the portal. So, we have that good relationship to
Yeah.
where he knows, he knows I'm an older guy, and I had my injuries. So, I mean, he really works with me great, and I try to communicate it as well as I can with him.
Oh yeah,
Just
definitely.
about what I need. But like today, for instance, right? I know some of the dudes went in and got a hard lift in. I still went in and got my work in, but it was a little bit more band work and some knee rehab work, some stretching. So I'm just trying to be a little bit more mindful of how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
What do I need recovery wise today? And like he says, on the days that I feel good and I'm revved up, I push hard.
Oh,
But
100%,
if
dude.
I need to pull it back a little bit, then we pull it back a little bit.
Yeah, it's, like I've talked to Stutz about that before. It's like or just with you specifically, that he's done very well and he's made it a priority to like help make sure help adapt your training just because he knows you need different things than some of our younger guys do.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, I have so much respect for him. You don't know what to expect when you're getting recruited, obviously. I mean, you hear a million different things from all these guys recruiting you, but, he flat out told me, this is what we got for you. This is what we're going to do. We'll do this, that for you. We'll help you out with this. We'll make sure you're feeling good. And, I mean, he's kept his word on all of it. So, I'm super grateful for that because I love wrestling. I love the sport. I'm fully healthy for the first time in a long time, and I want it to stay that way.
Yeah, it's I wanted to say that way too, man, because you're a big years ahead for you, man. I feel that. But
Yeah, for sure.
what was a moment that would have been it would have been easier for you to quit, but you managed to push through?
So you obviously you sent me that question earlier, and I thought about it the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I haven't had any moments in college that I've been like, this isn't for me. I'm ready to hang it up, or I'm ready to quit. And I think that's a good thing. And I think I'm like that because I just love training and I love working out and I love kind of having a goal I'm striving towards. Right? I'd be the dude that I'd be working out even if I wasn't wrestling.
Yeah.
I'd be doing some sort of thing. I really believe I'll be the dude that's 90 years old doing, swim workouts at the Y with the other geezers.
Yeah.
That's going to be me, so.
I feel that.
Probably, I mean, there's plenty of moments in these last 2 years that I probably could have hung it up. I mean, it's been a crazy 2 years with just, health issues, injuries, mental stress, Probably the craziest it got was my first year at Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
I came in with two tweaked knees, basically, just from previous injuries. My right knee, my meniscus was torn, and we kind of knew that coming in, but it wasn't as bad, and that's kind of something that's a little easier to wrestle through. And my left knee, I tore that knee up my senior year in high school. I tore my ACL and my PCL, and we did the stem cells for that. Got it feeling good for the state tournament, and then they canceled it, obviously. But I don't think it ever really healed.
I get you.
So when I came into Wyoming, they were having trouble clearing me. They were just like, dude, what's going on? Like, your knee, it's so loose. We're doing all these tests, and I'm just like, I don't know, dude. It's just, that's how it feels.
Yeah, it's just, you didn't really know.
It is. So that first year at Wyoming, funny enough, we actually dueled Campbell at that battle at the barn duel, and I'm wrestling a good kid from there. I'm beating him, actually, and end of the second period, I think he gets in a low single. Nothing weird that the kid did or anything. He just went to finish it. And, I knew immediately. I completely just blew my knee out in half. He just got in a weird position, blew it out. Finished the match. Knew it was banged up. Went and got the MRI and everything, and they were just like, dude, listen, you basically tore everything in it. It was ACL, PCL, MCL, meniscus. LCL. My LCL and my PCL were both fully ruptured. Everything else was pretty much just hanging on by a thread.
That had to be a sombering experience.
Yeah, and then in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, that knee was a little wonky as is, but it was good. Now it's fully torn. My right knee, the meniscus is torn, so that one's already bothering me, right?
Yeah.
And then at the time too, I got some crazy, just random weird, like, GI stomach issues going on. So
wow,
I'm kind of a mess. And they said, listen, we'll give you about a month. Rehab it, do everything you can. The facilities, the trainers, everything at Wyoming were top notch. So they're like, we'll put you on a little rehab protocol. We'll get you back within a month or so. Tape it up, brace up like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to finish up the season. So, I don't know, looking back, if this was the smartest idea, but in my crazy head, I'm like, we're running all these GI tests. We can't figure out what's wrong with me. We finally figure out, hey, your gallbladder isn't working right. So to fix that, we got to take it out. It's an easy little procedure. It'll be 30 minutes. You'll be back in no time. This is perfect. It's December. I got a little time off. I'm going to go get my gallbladder taken out. I'll be back in a couple weeks. My knee will be ready. We'll do it, right? So
yeah,
December 2023, I think, I went in and got my gallbladder taken out at that little short time that I had off. And, it was supposed to be a super easy procedure, probably like legit 30 minutes. They do these so often that they're like nothing. I guess, I just was having some bad luck at the time. I had some crazy complications with the anesthesia.
Oh.
So I basically had something called a negative pressure pulmonary edema.
Wow.
And it was basically something went wrong with the breathing tube. That they had to put a breathing tube down my throat because it was kind of like an upper body procedure. So, apparently something went wrong. My lungs collapsed. I had a whole shot in my lung. And at the time, I think that they're just kind of taking me off everything, getting ready to wheel me back out to the room I'm in with my parents to get me going. And my blood oxygen or whatever on the monitor is real low.
Wow.
The nurses are like, oh, this is weird. Obviously probably nothing because he's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Right now he's kind of coming out of anesthesia. He was just fine for the surgery. So they switch machines, and it's still really low, and it's dropping.
Oh my God.
They're just like, what's going on? And my dad finally steps in, and he's like, take the monitor or whatever and put it on your finger. Like, see what's going on. If it's the machine, it'll be low. If it's not, whatever. So they do that. It's normal for them. So they're like, what's going on? I start coming to. immediately I'm coughing up blood. My eyes are still closed. I'm like half in, half out, just can't breathe. I'm coughing up blood like crazy. And then next thing you know, I wake up a couple hours later in the ICU with a CPAP machine on me, not knowing what's going on, barely breathing, coughing up blood still.
That's insane.
So, yeah, and mind you, this is December. This is around Christmas time, right? So this is mid-season.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to be back. Yeah, I'm supposed to be back in a few weeks wrestling.
Yeah, nothing crazy, right?
Right. So I was in the ICU for 3 days. On the CPAP machine. They eventually took me off on oxygen, and then I had to sleep with an oxygen tank in my apartment for like a week. But and then I don't know. Crazy enough, it's like I'm back wrestling, training, competing in the next 2 weeks. Like that, it was just like that.
That's
insane,
I had all the
craziness going on. The torn knees, the hole in my lung, everything. I almost died during that procedure, and then I'm just right back to it. And I think at the time, I didn't. You don't think anything of it. You're kind of just like, what is this luck I'm having?
Honestly.
But looking back now, 2 years later, I'm like, hey, it's definitely a moment I could have quit or just hung it up or whatever. But
yeah, and to be honest with you, in that situation, nobody would have blamed you.
Right, and I don't think, like I said, I love the sport. I love, working out. I love the grind of it. Like, it wasn't even a thought in my mind.
Yeah.
If anything, I'm like, dude, I want to get back and show these dudes, show these coaches, show everybody I'm about it. And, I still finished out the season. I got 8th at Big 12s, not what I wanted, but, coming from where I came from in that situation, it's, it's all right in my mind.
Well, dude, 8th at Big 12s, 3 months removed from that story you just told me is special, man. Like, what was that the year you wrestled Keckeisen?
Yeah, that was the year I had him second round of Big 12s, I think.
Yeah, that would have been the second round of Big 12s. But anyways, I will keep it going here. This is a question I'm not gonna lie, I just thought of, but it's a softball, so you'll have a good answer for this. What is there a story behind the back piece?
I think after my first year in college, as like you're a young college dude, your buddies are starting to get tattoos and this and that. You see the UFC fighters, all these combat athletes, the wrestlers are looking up to, and they got all the crazy ink. So I wanted to get a tattoo, and I kind of convinced my parents to finally let me.
That's awesome.
And initially, actually, we kind of went to like a local dude around my town in Chardon. And he was doing the same type of piece that I have on my arm now. He was doing a dragon on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And, nothing against the dude, but it was taking a while. It was a little bit smaller. And I think at the time, all this tattoo talk kind of got my dad looking into it.
Yeah.
And he's like me. He likes to, if he's going to go into something, he's going all in. So he was looking all over Instagram, finding, different styles and stuff that he would like to maybe get. And he found this, Japanese traditional style that just he really liked, looked really cool. So he's looking around trying to find spots to get the work done. And, it's basically in the U.S., like, you got to go super far to get good Japanese work, or you're going to, like, Japan.
Oh, yeah, right? There's no other option.
So basically the closest, best place we could find was in Brooklyn, New York, in Williamsburg, at a shop called Fly Right Tattoo. And, they, my mom and dad decided, hey, we're gonna go get this little bit of tattoo work as like a family. Like, why don't we just stop with this dude back home? You come up, they'll do a big cover-up sleeve on your arm, and then it's, it's fun. Like, you'll have the dragon sleeve, I'll have the dragon sleeve. My mom, she'll hate me for saying this, but she got a little dragon like in the middle of her back.
I love that.
So we kind of made it a family thing, and then once that was done, I was able to, work my magic with my parents and convince them, hey, just let me do the back.
Gosh,
it's a big piece. I put a shirt on, no one even knows. So yeah, I got my arm done, and then I started working on my back probably 2022, and it's still, I'm still working to finish it.
Oh, wait, so the back isn't to where you want it yet? Like, it's still working on it?
So, the Japanese traditional style, a lot of those dudes, they do like the full blown like bodysuits, right?
Yeah.
So,
Uh-huh.
I got my arm done, and I was looking into the back, and all those dudes, they're the coolest dudes. They're all those tattoo artists, and they're telling me like, yeah, you do the back, but a lot of dudes do like the kind of half bodysuit. So you do your full back, you do your butt, and you do to like the midline of your hamstring. So I was like, wow, damn, okay, I gotta do the full blown thing, right?
Obviously,
I gotta do
like,
what these dudes do.
yeah, all in or all out, right?
Right. So, my back is fully finished. I got a little bit on my butt, and I still have to do like the hamstring part. So I'm pretty much on the worst, most painful part of it, which is like the butt hamstrings.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And I'm about 100+ hours in, and I've probably got another 50 or so to go till it's finished. But it's worth it. It's worth it. It's beautiful work. Shout out Stephen Huey.
Dude, that's dedication.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I respect
it's
that.
fun.
I'm sure it is. Keep it going here. Anyways, that was a crazy story, man. Like I said, still learning stuff about you. What are your hobbies outside of wrestling?
Nothing crazy. My dad and I, we love shooting guns. We love fishing. We got a big pond in our backyard, so we've been shooting off guns and fishing back there forever. And simple stuff. I like going out with my friends. I hop on the games with them a little bit and talk to them. And I can't lie. This is
It's your life, man.
I love training. That's when I get home, all I'm thinking about is like, all right, my dad's been lifting with me, working out with me since I was like 8 years old. We started on the push-ups, pull-up bar, sit-ups to then getting in the weight room, and credit to him. He's pretty much there working out with me all the time. So, all that stuff. But I do just love hitting the gym, love wrestling, love training.
Is there any aspiration to get into like combat or something following like the completion of your career?
100%. I have a really good spot down in Denver currently that I started training at when I got to Wyoming. I got hooked up with one of the Wyoming wrestling alumni down there, Archie Colgan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he trains down at the Onyx Gym with
Trevor Whitman and all them.
Yeah, Justin Salas, Trevor Whitman, Justin Gaethje, all those dudes. So it's such a good spot. I couldn't think of a better spot to go to right out of college as a wrestler to, really try to make a name for myself, make some money.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of these college wrestlers, right, they go into coaching for a couple years. They get an assistant job or grad assistant, whatever. And a lot of the other dudes too go into fight, and I'm not ready to hang it up.
You're not ready to give up your training.
And so I figured, I'll go down there for a couple years, fight. If it works out and I can make a living from it, dude, amazing. That's my goal. That's my dream. But if not, I still got the degrees to fall back on. So,
were you a UFC fan growing up, or was that just something you found through wrestling?
Yeah, I've always just been in the UFC stuff, the combat stuff. My dad trained a little bit of MMA, when he was younger. He never fought or anything, but he would train at a gym in Cleveland that I kind of grew up training at a little bit, strong style MMA. And that's actually where Stipe Miocic.
Yup, that's where Stipe is from. Yeah. My Lord, you're connected, dude. I love this.
Yeah. So I definitely you'll see me on the fight scene here in the next couple of years.
I hope so.
Yeah, for sure.
And you already have the Sean Brady lookalike contest, like secured and won.
I know, literally, because he gets all those Japanese work too. We literally have the same back piece. It's called a Hanya.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the face. So,
dude, when I first met you, Like when I first met you back in August, I thought to myself, wait, what's Sean Brady doing here? And then Stus looks at me and says, that's Ethan Ducca, you dum dum. I'm like, oh crap, it is.
I gotta get in contact with them, dude. I think they're in Philly. That's
Yeah,
great.
the Henzo Gracie Philly. It's Joe Pfeiffer's out of there too. Julian Marquez. It's a really good gym.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, well, leads me into my next question. Funnily enough, what led you to Laramie originally, and do you have any funny stories from your time at Wyoming?
I was thinking about that question. Story-wise, I mean, I wish I had some better stories for you. I don't know. Probably some of the funnier stories I shouldn't be saying on the record.
I respect that. Well, you'll have to tell me those sometimes when we're off the record.
Yeah, for sure. But I hit the portal, after my third year at Edinburgh.
Gotcha.
And I had some places in mind, but I was really, I was open to see what was out there. I wanted to get some good coaches, some good partners to try to reach that next level. And one of my best buddies, Gabe Willishell, was hitting the portal at the time also. And I remember we were just talking one day, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, I think I'm gonna go out to Wyoming." And I'm like, "Wyoming? Like what?" I maybe thought of Wyoming 5 times in my life.
Exactly. There's like 5 people
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, "What's out in Wyoming?" I think Wyoming. I'm like, Bryce Meredith, Stephen Buchanan. Mountains.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. There's not much else that meets the eye there, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
So yeah, it's just I think I looked up on WrestleStat and saw they were kind of in like a rebuild. They needed an 84. So I got in contact with McCade Ford, and obviously Gabe getting recruited hard there helped. So we we didn't get down on the visit together, but we got down separately, and they flew me and my parents out, and I mean, it was just amazing. I mean, they really do up the recruiting well. McCade Ford is a great recruiter.
Yeah.
And the place speaks for itself. I mean, it's a cool little town. The facilities, we had the craziest hot and cold tubs, recovery centers, fueling stations, the room, everything. The coaches were cool. Everything was cool about it. So it just kind of worked out perfect. And I got to, I'm moving across the country, 23 hours away from home and comfort. But, I'm able to move in down there with one of my best buddies. So.
Oh, so you and Gabe moved in together down there?
Yeah, so I lived with him for 2 years, and it was such a blast.
I'm sure it was.
It was a perfect setup.
Gotcha. All right, got 2 more questions here for you. You had told me this story. You've told me this story before, but just a little bit of detail for like the people in the public eye and the wrestling community that may not know. You were originally committed to Campbell in this past spring's portal cycle. What went into that decision, and then after the coach left, finding your way to Bloomsburg?
Yeah, so obviously I hit the portal after this last year at Wyoming. I wanted to get a little bit closer to home. A 23-hour drive was brutal.
I'm sure it was.
So I'm getting recruited places. I'm looking to get closer to home, like I said, and Campbell's always been a great program, and I had some ties there. The Hiles were there, Logan Heil and Josh Heil. I grew up with them in Ohio. I've been growing up wrestling at their parents' or their dad's club for a while.
Gotcha.
So they recruited me. They recruited me the first time around in the portal, and it just didn't work out. And then, this time around, they needed an 84 bad. So, I went down on the visit. I loved it. He recruited me. Sentez recruited me. Dudley as well. And I mean, they're just super cool dudes. It was a cool little place. I love the coaches, love the training partners I had. And yeah, unfortunately, it just didn't work out. Sentez ended up taking another job, and that was kind of right when I was getting down there. So I'm like, I don't know, dude. I have a lease and an apartment now. I'm getting down here to train, and it was literally like 2 or 3 days before I left. Right.
Wow.
So I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you don't know what these kids are going to do, right? Because obviously, they got on a Zoom, they told us, and it's like, hey, you have 30 days from today to hit the portal if you want to or not. the university is obviously going to be doing what they can to find another head coach, and we'll go from there. And I'm down there training, and it's great. I mean, that weather was amazing. You couldn't beat it. I had a nice little apartment back there. I had a sand volleyball court in my backyard of my apartment.
That's awesome.
And unfortunately, just a lot of dudes hit the portal. We were starting to lose dudes here and there. Josh Heil obviously left, and he took a job at Wyoming of all places. So, we were down to like pretty much Dudley, and I like Dudley a lot. He's a great dude, but it was just getting scary. It's nothing against those dudes, nothing against that place at all, but dudes were hitting the portal left and right. I was getting worried, like, dude, what happens? What if we don't have a team? What if they cut the program, this and that? You never know. So
the uncertainty was just too much to handle.
Right, it was too much. So I did whatever I had to do. I hit the portal again, and then Stutzman goes calling me again, and I'm just like, at this point, dude, he's such a great guy. And I know so many of his ex wrestlers. Sam Mitchell is, his old 197 actually transferred to Wyoming.
Yeah, I was gonna say you and him trained together.
Yeah, so like, I'm like, it's almost bad juju if I don't do this.
Exactly.
Right? I'm like, I might as well, dude. He's giving me his word. He's gonna take care of my body, help me with what I need to do to be feeling good. And I don't, you don't know what to expect. I've never been out to Bloomsburg until I came on the visit. Obviously I wrestled at Edinburgh for 3 years, but we never dueled you guys out here, so I had no idea what to expect. I'm kind of expecting Edinburgh, like a small little PA school, like nothing really around it.
Wait, so let's just back that up a second. So you said you came out here on a visit before you ended up committing.
Yeah.
So when do you get here on your visit? Like late July, early August, or like?
I could try to find exactly. I don't. I
just like a ballpark, because I'm trying to figure out the timeline between when you like came out and then decided like, hey, I'm coming to Bloomsburg.
It was pretty much on that visit I decided.
I got you.
I think I'm trying to find when I actually came out. Because honestly, it was probably like a month before school started.
Dang.
It was crunch time. And, obviously you're hitting the portal again at that point, and I'm like, dude, I don't know, who needs an 84 at this point? Who's got money left over, this, that, and the other? Not that that's a big, right? Not that I'm just looking for money, looking for the biggest thing, but, those are things you got to take into consideration when you're hitting the portal. I'm already out of school.
100%,
I really want to, make this big life change again and go through all this craziness. So, we come out of the visit, and I loved it, honestly. I mean, this town is awesome. You'd be surprised at the facilities and just the place in general. I had no idea what to expect. I came from MAC school, so I know how it is. But, I mean, the facilities and everything are great. It's everything I need. And then just having a great head coach like Stutzman, man, it's, nothing beats that.
Yeah, it truly is a great man. Big John Stutzman guys, me and you are. Anyways, last question for you. Arguably my personal favorite question I ask every single guest I have the pleasure of having on this show. But what's your why?
Yeah, and I try to think about this a little bit before the interview too. But I don't know what my why is. I guess.
It's just something inside you.
I just really love training, and I love having a goal to work towards. I feel like I'm my best version of myself when I have something I'm like striving for. And like I said, I don't know. I think a lot of wrestlers like the sport of wrestling, but they hate training, they hate lifting, they hate working out. Like, I've always loved working out and training. Like I said, I'll be doing that till I can't move. Right?
Yeah.
So.
Always moving.
Yeah, so I guess I just love the training, and I love having something to work towards. That's kind of what gets me out of bed every day, and that's why I want to fight when I'm done too, because I want something else to strive towards, and like I said, I got the degrees. I have my things to fall back on if it works out, if it doesn't work out, whatever. But probably just that, probably just loving the process of like getting up every day, having to work out, having to eat clean, do the right things, like that's what gets me out of bed, gets me doing what I like to do.
That is an awesome, man. I'll cut the recording here and then I'll talk to you for a minute or two before I let you go.